which is why it would break my heart if I find out that you're being dishonest with me. Nichelle, I love you too much to see you hurt. The two of us love each other. Can't we just put all of this behind us? Are you even trying to figure out how to get his shares back? I was expecting you. It looks like Devontae told you that I got a hold of the diary. Hopefully you didn't come here to ask me to get rid of it. What do you plan to do now, Ben? Why is that any of your concern? I was wondering when we would run into each other. We shouldn't be speaking to each other. We shouldn't, but I still want an answer. What answer? Why did you lie, Yvette? Why would you want to paint me as some sick monster? Harley, what have I done to deserve a visit from you? I came here to offer you something in exchange for my son's shares to Russo Jewelers. Don't stress, Ronnie. I've got the drugs kept in a safer place now. You better. I don't want to hear about no more screw-ups. Most of all, I don't want you speaking to any cops till you get a lawyer. That ain't all. We're gonna have to figure out who snitched on you. None of my concern? Ben, if Udell finds out what I've kept from him all of these years, then it could possibly destroy my marriage. Then why did you keep it from him all this time? Elvira swore me to secrecy, unless you wanted me to dishonor your aunt's wishes. It's not about dishonoring Elvira's wishes. Look, I get that Elvira wanted you to keep Udell from knowing that Devontae seduced her, but it doesn't erase the fact that she was a 17-year-old girl. After her life was taken, you should have known that any small detail could have helped solve her case. I didn't lie, Max. Are you kidding me? No one else is around. You and I both know what happened that night. Unless this is your attempt of believing your own lie. We both know that I didn't go over your house to hook up with you. It was you who invited me to stay longer when you know that I only stopped by to your house to speak with your parents. And you were the one who left the condom on the floor. On top of that, we both know that I didn't force you to stay. Don't you think that I would have rather been in trouble with my parents, Yvette? Were you that willing to get out of trouble that you made this huge lie? Instead, you made both of our lives 10 times more complicated. Do you hate me that much? Sounds like you know what Alan's been up to. And I'm sorry for the trouble that my son put you and your family through. Except, it doesn't seem like he's sorry at all, since he's not here with you apologizing out of his own mouth. Besides, an apology won't make up for the damage that your son caused. That's why Wanda and I have got his shares. But those shares don't belong to you, Udell. And Confidence Designs never belonged to Alan. That didn't stop him from going after my wife's business. This is where my offer comes in. If you hand over Alan's shares back to him, then I'll drop Max Russo as a client and you can keep Essidore's shares. Deal? I really can't think of anyone who would try to snitch on me. No one I sold the product to got in any trouble when I got arrested. Maybe the student made some sort of deal. That can't be right. The cops never asked me if I sold drugs to a specific student. After I got released, I know that the parents would have been upset that I was allowed back at school. Maybe someone overheard something. Maybe. But I think I got another idea of who wanted me to get caught with the product. Who? Devontae Torres. May I remind you that I was 17 as well when Elvira lost her life? Here's the difference. You grew up. Elvira didn't get that chance. Can you just let me explain? When Elvira lost her life, I still couldn't bring myself to say anything. It was like if I told, then I would have dishonored her final wish. The more that time passed, the harder it was to say anything. I had already fallen in love with Udell and I couldn't lose him. As if that's supposed to make it better. That's why you were quiet this whole time? Just to keep some guy? Were you relieved when you heard that Elvira was seduced by Devante? You've got no right to ask me that question, Ben. That's all it was, a question. I would have never stolen Udell from Elvira when she was alive, but instead you waited for him to drop her so that you can swoop in and mend his broken heart. Just tell me what you really came here for, Wanda. Please don't tell Udell, especially since my family is already going through a lot. I don't hate you, Max. Yet another lie. Don't you realize how miserable my life has been? I got arrested in school. Vanessa gets sick every time she sees me. People are arguing about whether I'm guilty or not when we both know I didn't do anything to you. You did do something to me. Cut it out, Yvette. You know what I mean. You never had to come over my house. That's true. I've been regretting that decision ever since the cops showed up at my door questioning if I forced myself on you. But here's the crazy part. You didn't have to lie. Just tell the truth. I am telling the truth. Yvette, I am begging you. Do I have to go on my knees? Because I will if I have to in order to make this all stop. If you tell the truth, then I'll beg your parents to go easy on you. I'll get my family to back off. All you have to do is drop the charges. But Isidore wasn't the one who made the AI attacks. Your son did. And where do you think he learned that behavior from? It wasn't from me. I lost custody, remember? Let's say that you were the moral parent, which is hard to believe since you defended your ex-husband in court not too long ago against my client. That was business. You should understand that. As I was saying, after you lost custody, you left town. Doesn't that make you responsible for how Alan turned out as well? Even if I stayed in Valley Park, Isidore would have still gotten more of an influence on Alan. I did my best to look out for my son from afar, but Isidore's hold on him was just too strong. When Isidore found out what Alan did to Wanda, did he encourage him to stop what he was doing and make things right with your wife? No. Punish Isidore, not my son. Nah, that can't be right. Devante would know that getting you in trouble would make the boss lose money. I think Devante cares more about having me out of his daughter's life. What did I tell you? I told you that staying with Michelle would only cause trouble. She ain't the problem, but you're saying that her pops is. You gotta drop her. I'll keep it from Udell. Thank you. But clearly, you're not willing to drop the charges against my little brother. If Max goes down, then prepare to explain to your husband why you kept such a huge secret from him for 20 years. Now get out. If you don't get out of my way, Max, then I'll scream and make sure that more people take my side. You are one cold person. It makes me sick that you've got people thinking that I'm the monster. Just because your son has Isidore Russo as a father doesn't dissolve him from consequences, Harley. Alan wanted to play adult games, so he needs to face adult consequences. Is that it, Udell? Do you really want me to drag your daughter in court? You've seen me in action. You know how dirty I can paint her. Get out of my office. Be grateful that I've only got your son's shares instead of leaking to the whole world how idiotic and wicked he is. I already told you that I ain't gonna let her go. Plus, I convinced her that the drugs in my bag weren't mine. That don't matter to Devante. If you're right, then he's gonna do whatever it takes to get you out of the picture. Don't you see that staying with Michelle could cost you your life?